Hello. Welcome to the first Tuesday night watch along with your boy Andrew, your boy Chris, your boys from the best goddamn wrestling show on the internet. Respect the ring. We're gonna have some fun tonight, y'all.
Absolutely. It looks like everyone's excited already. What's going on, guys?
I just want to take a minute to thank everyone that's watching. Thank anyone that's given us a minute. We've only been at this for less than 3 weeks, and we love it. Every single one of us love it. We love what we're doing. We argue about who's going to be on camera because we love everybody. Not really. But I just wanted to kind of hype us up. We love this. We love what we do. We love wrestling. We are passionate about wrestling. We're passionate about our thoughts, our opinions, what we have to think about it, not what other people have to think or what other people have said. We are here to express ourselves, and we are here, like I mentioned, 30 seconds ago, we are the best damn wrestling show with, I'll go ahead and give us a little leeway with under 500 people.
The weight of all this hype is crushing my shoulders, I will say the least.
But with that intro, we are going to get started with Nwa Shockwave. It did happen a little earlier. We didn't get to get here on time. We kind of miscalculated. What's up, Big Red? But for NWA Shockwave, I will have Andrew lead us. Andrew, please.
Absolutely. First of all, I do want to say a shout out and happy holidays, and welcome to all of our viewers here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Like I said before, like we've always said before, make sure to like and follow the page. Give us a subscribe. Make sure to click that bell. Make sure you got all your notifications turned on, and give us a follow on Twitch as well, because we are live on all 3 platforms. All 3 of them. All 3. And we are only growing from
Twitch,
here.
YouTube, Facebook, Game Boy Advance,
possibly the PlayStation.
PlayStation 1,
2,
PSP, DS, Switch.
Even the Famicom. We're live on Famicom.
Atari 3000, baby. Let's go.
Indeed. But anyways, I'm not going to waste your guys' time with all of this.
I'm sorry. I wasted y'all's time. Hold on.
No, but all of that was really awesome, though. But I am, like Chris did say, Shockwave did happen a little bit earlier. We want to give you guys a quick recap in regards to what had happened. Unfortunately, a lot of real-life situations have occurred that have resulted in us not actually being live in time for Shockwave, but needless to say, it was a pretty eventful packed show. It was a 3-match card. The runtime was 47 minutes roughly. If you're interested, or actually you should be interested, otherwise why are you here? You can watch it on NWA's official YouTube channel. They do have that episode uploaded weekly every Tuesday. So, that being said, the first of the matches that showed up was Kamille Brickhouse versus Simone Sherie. This is Camille's basically continuation of her undefeated streak and her dominance in the NWA division en route to a NWA women's title shot. Team Yates says, "Why aren't we the Dreamcast?" We
can't get every platform.
We're working on it. What's
also, up? How
Mike
are you
Rosa
doing,
says, "Don't ask him any weird questions. He's got to listen to the Jim Cornette podcast first." All right. Well, yeah, you should listen to the Jim Cornette podcast as well. But anyways, yes. Kamille versus Simone Sherie, which was a pretty good match. I mean, Simone did get her her moments of dominance, if you will. But in all, it was really a Kamille show. Kamille, like I said, building up her dominance towards the NWA Women's Championship title shot down the line. That's going to happen.
Just rename it NWA Kamille.
You may as well, right? But ultimately, it was a dominant match. You got a couple of moments in from Simone, Sherie, but Kamille ultimately did win the match via a spear. We also got a little bit of continuation with the Aaron Stevens, who at the time of the broadcast, I say that specifically for a reason, but at the time of the broadcast was the NWA National Champion. Now, the reason why I say that is, as we all know, Trevor Murdoch right now is the current champion. All of these matches for NWA Shockwave were produced at an earlier time, but they weren't actually broadcast out. So Shockwave isn't an amalgamation of prior matches that have happened that are put together. And it's pretty obvious, unfortunately, in this episode itself. But all in all, it was still a good offering of what we got. That being said, to bring it back full circle, we got a promo from Aaron Stevens, who was the NWA National Champion at the time, hyping up his match against Trevor Murdoch for the title in next week's Shockwave show. Aaron, I know, right? But it was a pretty entertaining promo. Aaron Stevens obviously downplaying Trevor Murdoch's threat to the title, saying that he is the NWA third degree national champion. And
I'm sorry, I got to interrupt. I'm sorry. What? It was back in the early 2000s or late 90s. Someone was a champion in WCW and then showed up on the other show without the title, and it was Mick Foley, or
you might have been thinking about Ric Flair, because there was a time he showed up with the big gold belt, but he wasn't officially recognized as the WCW champion.
Right, and they had to wait 2 days until the next show, and that's when he won the title. I don't know. People know what I'm talking about. I had to bring that up because that situation reminded me of it.
Indeed. But Dean Yates goes, it's funny because I love Cornette, but I'm also a huge G-Raver fan. Those of you who don't know, Cornette and G-Raver mixed together like oil, gasoline, and a matchstick. But I digress. If anybody wants a description of G-Raver, I can also provide that as well. But continuing on, we got our second match for the NWA Shockwave recap, which was Eli Drake versus Erik Watts. That was a little bit of a story that was kind of shoehorned into this match. I say shoehorned, that's not really the correct terminology for it. More like implied into the match, given that Erik Watts and Eli Drake never really faced each other in the 10 years that they've been wrestling. And there was that idea that if Erik Watts had actually, faced off against him 10 years ago and probably beat Eli Drake, you had a sense of Watts probably would have been where Eli Drake was. Luther going, Andrew, what's going on, Luther? Welcome to the show, my man. Glad you could join us. Hopefully I entertain you along the way. And if I don't, Chris will give you your money back within 7 to 10 business days. But anyways, you know who else was an NWA champion, Chris?
I'm familiar with a few.
Okay, but you know who was the NWA world champion? Or the former NWA
Texas
world
legend.
champion? Scrap that. Adam Pearce.
Adam Pearce. AP.
Adam Pearce. Scrap Daddy.
Scrap Daddy.
Anywho, back to the match itself. This was a very back and forth match, actually. There, like I said before, there was a little bit of a storyline element in there with the fact that if Erik Watts had been where Eli Drake was and actually hadn't beaten him in 10 years past, he probably would have ascended to superstardom. So the match kind of gave this element of Erik Watts had a chip on his shoulder, and it showcased throughout the match where Erik Watts was kind of handily beating Eli Drake. Eli Drake, being the veteran that he is, was able to kind of come up against Erik Watts, against the powerhouse that is Erik Watts, if you will. But ultimately, this was really a showcase of Watts, and he did deliver. I will give him that. He did deliver, and he is a big name that's going to be looked on for the future. Luther saying he hadn't heard Eli Drake's name in forever. That's because he was in the NWA, actually. That's not to take away from the NWA, because the NWA, in and of itself, while, yes, it has deteriorated in status, it's still a very viable name. However, because of, the obvious with Power not being in production as of right now, and most of the main content being shown on YouTube, unfortunately, it means that unless you're watching the NWA on YouTube, you're not really going to see Eli Drake very often. Dean Yates saying Erik Watts, which one? The WCW one. It was really the guy from Tough Enough, I believe. It wasn't the WCW one. It's a big, bulky powerhouse. Wears a singlet, kind of fluffy hair, but definitely not the WCW one from way back when. But that being said, Eli Drake did ultimately win this match using his veteran skills and managing to capitalize on Erik Watts kind of dropping Eli Drake with a maneuver that kind of had him down for the count, but he still chose to pose instead. Getting ready to pull Eli Drake up, Eli Drake was able to counter with the gravy train fireman's carry and resulted in a pinfall for Eli Drake. So in all, very entertaining match. One of the better highlights of the matches itself, it was showcased on the primetime wrestling for NWA, so it wasn't actually in the NWA studios. You'll notice that as you're actually looking in the syndications, things looked a little bit awkward when it came to the venue change. But Luther saying Impact last time I remember, that was where he saw his rise to prominence. Eli Drake, where he was the, as you know, the Impact World's champion. So that was one. The last match on the card that happened was Thunder Rosa versus Priscilla Kelly. Now, yeah, that was a match that happened. Now, there's a reason why I specifically mentioned that these were an amalgamation of matches that had happened before, because during this particular broadcast, Thunder Rosa was the NWA's women's champion at the time, so she did carry out the belts. As we all know, Serena Deeb is currently the champion. But I digress. This match,
I'm gonna have to watch that.
You absolutely do, because this match itself probably was the best match that I've seen from the NWA in quite some time.
Even now, compared to last week's main event?
I would venture to say so, honestly.
Ooh.
Now, the reason why I say that, Priscilla Kelly did have a promo beforehand where she was waiting for all these opportunities to happen, but due to, COVID, she was training in Georgia. Everything that happened, she didn't really get the opportunities, and she saw this as her biggest opportunity yet. So she was ready to capitalize, and it showed throughout this match. This was by far the best back and forth affair I have seen from either of the two in recent memory, actually. And that's
including. I need to watch that right now.
I would if you get the chance.
I'm actually watching Dark right now, so I'll turn it off.
Yeah, by all means, go for it.
Peter Avalon, baby.
Peter Avalon. Now, this match was very back and forth, and I say that knowingly, including Thunder Rosa versus Hikaru Shida from AEW, which many people actually say was probably one of Rosa's and Shida's best match in recent memory, especially Shida's best match in AEW. But this match in and of itself was very back and forth, very, very hard hitting. There were many moments, even though I knew in my head that Thunder Rosa was going to win the match because at the time she was the champion, and hindsight's 2020, knowing that she carried the belt for the time being. Even then, there were moments where I thought Priscilla Kelly was actually going to win, or there was going to be some kind of chicanery and hijinks involved that would have resulted in a match, maybe next week or the following week or where have you. And I would have been willing to see this match continue on if it weren't for the fact that the broadcast was so short, unfortunately.
You mentioned it. These are all like separate things, just kind of edited together to be a show.
Correct.
Did this match happen in NWA, or did this match happen somewhere else? Because they wrestled each other here not in Texas, but they wrestled each other really recently, and it might have been that one, but it wasn't a part of NWA. I know that.
I'm not entirely sure if that's the same venue as the one down by your area. But it was definitely not in the NWA studios. It was somewhere else.
Dude, sure. This is a 20-minute match.
It is. I wouldn't say it was long, Clinton. But when you watch it, you barely even recognize how long it was, honestly. It was really good.
That's how you know a match is great. You can't tell that you've been sitting there for 35 minutes watching the match.
Honestly, I couldn't. I know I'm very known for hyping up wrestlers sometimes, even when matches seem kind of wishy-washy, because I'm a fan of the sport and I appreciate like all the little nuances and everything. But this match in and of itself, it was very good. I can't say it's probably going to be like a match of a year contender, but it was a very good match, and it's definitely worth your time to watch if you do get into watching Shockwave in and of itself. Luther saying NWA does need a TV show so she can watch. He's intrigued with all of this. I absolutely agree, man. NWA, I know like a lot of people don't really watch it because we already know that NWA in and of itself is damaged in name value because of everything that has happened over the recent years. But honestly, I do want to give props to Billy Corgan because he is actively making an effort to bring the brand back. And I respect that for what it's worth, because if it weren't for him, I mean, the NWA title, the NWA lineage, the NWA name probably would have died out years ago by this point. It was already a dying brand, and he brought it back to at least some significant relevance in 2020. So I give him all the props for that. And with the showcase of all the talent that he has brought in, namely in this case, Thunder Rosa versus Priscilla Kelly, along with Eli Drake, along with Erik Watts, along with Kamille Brickhouse, Simone Sherie, Nick Aldis, if you will. Definitely, it's worth your time, honestly, if you do have time. Now, I say that, full disclosure and full knowledge, that I don't occasionally catch it live because, like we said, real life kind of gets in the way of things, and it kind of stops us from actually getting CD shows live and producing it with you guys in a watch along if we want, because we really do want to do that ultimately at the end of the day. That's our end goal. But watching it as it is, and with that hindsight of what wrestling is today compared to what we would have seen back then, it does offer a new perspective on what wrestling is and how it can improve from there. And I think this match is a very good showcase of how wrestling can evolve from what it was back then compared to what it is now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you cut the intro, but I gave us a pretty big promo trying to put us over a little bit. Listen to this man talk about wrestling. Like I mentioned earlier that we love wrestling. We are passionate about wrestling. We are wrestling. I'm at work. Oh, respect the brand.
Fans are.
Right. Respect the ring. You goddamn right, baby.
All of them. Guys, get this hashtag going. Respect the brand and respect the ring. Hashtag, tweet it, put it on your social media. Share this video as well. Let them all know. Let them know.
See, and those two comments right there are backing up what I'm saying. I'm at work literally researching what happened in the past 24 hours in wrestling, not just WWE, everywhere. I'm looking at shows that are coming up this weekend in little towns in Texas, Louisiana, Ohio, these little places. Look, these people are hyping this up. And they are proving exactly what I was saying. We love wrestling. We are wrestling. We talk about wrestling when we're not on stream. Our group chat is insane, but it's mostly wrestling.
And I love it. Like, I love to be able to communicate with the fan base regarding stuff like this, because this is stuff that we're passionate about, and this is stuff that we want to see grow.
Passionate.
I want to see this brand grow, but I also want, hopefully, if possible, I want to see this assist other promotions and brands growing. Yeah. So case in point, I'm going to do a little bit of a plug, but there's a reason for it. I know, like, a lot of people have probably heard by now, and I've already made aware that I will be covering the New Japan Super J Cup as well as Triple A's Triple Mania on Saturday, December 12th. So both those shows are going to be covered as well. We are also looking to cover more brands as it goes along, because we want more people to get an eye on these promotions, because we want it to grow at the end of the day. And this is just us kind of doing our part to make those promotions grow, And
so. Yeah, I mentioned on one of our first streams a couple of weeks ago that as long as y'all back us up and y'all show that y'all want to see it, we'll cover some little shit show in Kentucky. If we have enough people that want to watch a show where there's 15 people in the audience, we will cover it if y'all care. If y'all care, we will.
Thank you so much, Luther. Thank you so much. Get everyone you know to share that with you, my man, because we do want to help wrestling grow. Sorry, Chris. Absolutely. I just need to point that out.
No, I'm so thankful for that. Yeah, there can be a match in a barn in Wisconsin, and if y'all want to see it, we'll cover it.
Absolutely. I mean, there are a ton of promotions I do want to cover as well. Like, for example, GCW, Game Changer Wrestling. I do want to be able to cover that. H2O Wrestling, Hardcore Hustle Organization in New Jersey with Matt Tremont. I do want to be able to cover that as well. ICW, No Holds Barred. I want to be able to cover that because Pit Fighter X5 is happening on December 12th as well. Unfortunately, due to the time constraints as to what's going on, we were only able to cover 2 out of those 3 promotions. So after a couple of fan discussions, it seems that we would have to cover the Super J Cup and Triple Mania. But I do want to give a shout out to ICW No Holds Barred for Pit Fighter X5. I do hope that they succeed in their shows. I'm a huge fan, and I want to see them succeed as well. We have a ton of promotions. ROW, Reality of Wrestling.
Yeah, I was going to mention, I'm not sure if many of our fans know exactly who I am. My name's Chris. I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas. Texas wrestling is my life. Of course, I watch WWE, NXT, all that. But Texas wrestling, the indie wrestlers in Texas, that's all I've known for the past 17 years. I've been watching, I've been attending, I've been watching, I've been talking to. And I'm going to try to get into some interviews here and there with some Texas wrestlers. I mean, of course, like I mentioned, Andrew knows absolutely everything about wrestling.
Not
so
really.
me and him, or I can do some standalone shows here and there. I want to cover Texas wrestling. ROW, which is Booker T's school down in Houston. There's all kinds of shows in Texas. Look at Texas. It's the biggest, not the biggest state, but we have as many shows as you would imagine.
Indeed.
But right now, of course, COVID, everything is slowed down. But the bigger shows in Texas are still running. And if there's 15 people don't want me to cover a show in Dallas, I can make my way there. We can figure out how to live stream it.
Yeah, and I would love to cover. Like, I'm close to H2O wrestling as well, so like I've gone to some of the major shows as I can. The last extravaganza, which saw the retirement of Matt Tremont and the crowning of the Danny Havoc Hardcore Champion. If you do get the chance, I highly, highly recommend watching it. I've never seen. I know a lot of people get turned off by the concept of deathmatch wrestling, and yeah, I can see that, Chris included. But in all, I've never seen so much passion emanate from a promotion like H2O Wrestling. They love their fans and they love what they do, and that emanates from wrestlers to the fans. And when you have a mix like that, you just create magic. You create magic. There's no other way to put it.
Absolutely.
You know, we got a fan for Mike Rosa. We love you. We love you. Game Changer Wrestling too. Clinton, thank you so much for this comment, my man. I've done my best to show as many wrestlers as I can. If I ever see anybody that, should be recommended to watch, I will definitely shout them out on air. And, I know they probably don't even watch it. And if they do, I'm grateful that I'm able to share that with them. Like, for example, I got the opportunity to meet one of my top favorite wrestlers the other weekend, Daga. One of my top favorites. If it weren't for him, I know I watched like cruiserweight wrestling, early in the days with WCW and ECW and WWE and stuff. But if it weren't for guys like Daga, I probably would have never really discovered the origin promotions like AAA, CMLL, The Crash, all those promotions. And it's because of him that I became so enamored with Lucha Libre wrestling that I have adapted that into my watch list. So I try to keep a pulse on what's going on with Lucha Libre as well. And I have Daga to thank for that. So
shout out Daga, shout out Tessa Blanchard.
If you're watching this, my man, I can't thank you enough for that. Like I tried my hardest not to look like a dork when I got to see him live. And if you guys have seen my social media, you know that like I had like this goofy looking face looking back on it. But like I marked out on the inside so hard because I got to see him. And I'm a fan of him, I'm a fan.
Back about before Shelton Benjamin came back in 2017, I want to say it was late 2015. He was at a local show here, and after the show, everything, all the wrestlers were out in the foyer talking to fans, pictures, selling merch, and all that stuff. I walked up to him and I just said, "Oh, hey, you're here." I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. He's one of my all-time favorites, and I walked up to him. I'm just like.
It's hard to say because like these are the guys that you see that just you grow up with them and you never think in a million years you would ever see your heroes from when you were a kid now in person, like Joel Gertner. That if you guys have seen that video, Joel Gertner, the quintessential stud muffin himself, has endorsed us for Respect the Ring, and we did put that video up on our page if you guys get the chance to check it out. Luther, thank you so much for sharing us, buddy. make sure they like and follow us as well, because we do want to make sure that you guys are entertained along the way. Even if they're not wrestling fans, we do have other antics as well that we kind of like, we have some hijinks. I think if you guys saw yesterday's show, actually the last two shows, we had a kip-up competition out of nowhere just because we wanted to do it. And shout outs to our buddy Mike Rosa, who did 2 in a row live on air. As a result of that, I do have to do the Toe of Satan challenge tomorrow. So thank you and screw you. But besides the point, Caleb, I see just popping in. Hope we have a fantastic show. Thank you so much, Caleb. Every little bit of support helps.
We've been up 25 minutes, Caleb. I don't know how much you've seen, but this has been the best 25 minutes so far.
Oh yeah, bar none. This has been a catharsis by proxy, because this is stuff I feel like we have been producing shows all the time, but I don't feel like the audience has really gotten a gauge of who we are, more so than we are just, guys behind a screen. Just, Chris has a title in the background. That's about it. But this is who we are, and we wanted to make sure you guys had an indicator of who we are and what the brand is. We're the boys from Respect the Ring, as they said. Hashtag respect the ring, respect the brand. And in Clinton's case, respect my Rosa.
Yeah, we had the talks a few months ago about doing a podcast. Just a bunch of wrestling fans just talking wrestling. It didn't end up working out. I mean, just always looking to the future. But now that we have this, we can talk to fans. We can talk to each other. We can just put our opinions, our feelings about anything and everything, and it's awesome.
Absolutely.
I'm just a mark with the title on the back. I love wrestling.
He shared every single watch along we've done. Massive supporters as well as massive supporters of. Yeah, we definitely support you, Niall. I mean, I do want to be able to cover your career when you start going on, as well as, I think we mentioned before, breaking the immersion a little bit, but an interview with Fletch down the line. Whenever we're able to get that together, I'd love to have you on air and we can have an interview together, and we can kind of let the crowd know who you are a little bit. You know what I mean? Big Red,
we love you. Thank you for everything you've done for us so far.
Luther, thank you so much. I'd like to think we're all a team at the end of the day. But, the compliments it means a lot to us, because it shows that, what we're doing isn't just, we're just not sitting here chatting and watching wrestling. It's a lot more than that. Caleb saying, so glad the Yankees fans, Nick Lombardi and Mike Rosa are on, because they suck.
Kidding.
But we also got Caleb saying, if we ever want to do a deep dive of the 2012 and 14 era, that's an era that he could help out with, because this era was short. We do want to down the line discuss the idea of bringing fans in. For now, we're just kind of working on growing things a little bit, but that is something we want to discuss down the line. So hold on to that, because that may become a reality in the future. As Chris did mention, we are only 3 weeks in so far. I know it seems like it's such a short time with how much our growth has been because of your support, but we are still growing the logistics and the data behind it. So it's a work in progress.
I feel like we've been doing this forever, and it's been 3 weeks.
It's only been 3 weeks,
and that's not a bad thing at all. We've been doing so much content and so many shows that it's been a ride, and it will continue to be a ride, because we aren't even close to reaching our potential.
Not at all. And as we say that, we also have a 2-minute watch.
Yeah, I was about to say we are 1.5 minutes away.
So let's get ourselves hyped up for Impact. Are you guys ready for Impact Wrestling? Let us know in the comments below.
Why, Kenny? Why?
He's hyped. He's definitely hyped. I'm hyped. I mean, as we all know, the hype has been largely attributed to the AEW deal that had happened last week with Kenny Omega winning the AEW championship with the assistance of Don Callis, telling everyone to tune in for Tuesday's Impact Wrestling, where we get answers. That is something to look forward to. But we also have a star-studded matchup card coming up. We have Chris Bay and Moose versus Rich Swann and the Mac in a tag team action, as well as Rosemary and Taya facing off against Diana Perrazzo and Kimberly, which also promises to be a very good show. Caleb giving us the massive props. For 3 weeks, this production is next level. I've been doing this for a year, and I have no idea how you guys have the setup you do. Keep up the great work. Dude, thank you so much, man. That means volumes more than I think you may have intended, and that helps up so much for what we're doing. And we are going to be growing as we go along. So I promise you this isn't even our final form. We're working on it, my man. We're
this
working
is our
on
beginning, look where we're going to be in about a year.
Indeed, man. Indeed. It's going to happen.
I put this man over already twice in this show, but Andrew has been working his ass off on the YouTubes, the edits, the pictures, the descriptions. This man's doing it all. Everyone, give him your love. Make him blush.
I'm trying.
No, you're not trying. You're doing.
All right, it is time, guys. The 8 o'clock mark has started, and we are on the way and on the road for Impact Wrestling. Those of you who have the opening, if you can't catch it on Access TV, it is streaming live on Twitch right now as we speak. So head over to twitch.tv if you can. Also simulcast us as well, so you have our viewships as well. So we've got a lot of views going on both ends, or all three ends, if you will. Thank you so much for joining us. We've got the opening on right now with the AEW Championship match. So already we're seeing a little bit of the AEW influence on the Impact Wrestling programming. Luther saying his crush is Deonna Purrazzo. I love it, man. I love it. I'm going to have to get back to you on who my wrestling crush would be. That's something me and Chris are going to discuss later on, for sure.
Well, we already talked about mine.
Okay, so we have to talk about mine. Now, hold that thought. We'll get back to you on that one.
Priscilla Kelly, by the way, for those who don't know the answer. It's Priscilla Kelly.
I think we kind of figured when we saw your reaction under Rosa versus Priscilla Kelly, so to speak. But you know.
Thunder Rosa from Texas. Priscilla Kelly, my favorite. What's there not to love?
Everything.
One Winged Angel. 1, 2, 3.
There you go.
Kenny Omega champion.
Now, I think everyone kind of made their assumptions that Kenny Omega probably was going to win because Moxley was, quote unquote, going to Wrestle Kingdom to defend his IWGP US title. However, there were also press conferences from Tony Khan and Dave Meltzer and a lot of the wrestling pundits who basically said he wasn't going to Japan. Also with the news that Renee Young, or Renee Paquette, if you will, was announced to be pregnant as well, as Moxley had done in a promo. But, you know, as we've got a picture of a tour bus.
Very nice tour bus.
Very nice. So it's safe to assume right now that Kenny Omega is probably in there along with Don Callis.
Yeah, I was about to say Kenny and Don, yeah.
Most likely. Luther going, is it China? It is not China. But I do respect what she's doing for sure. Aaron going, y'all know on Twitch you can co-stream and show Impact show. I would love to do that if we could, but we do have to work out that deal with Impact Wrestling in and of itself, because if we were to showcase Impact stuff, we do risk a copyright strike if they're not approved of it. So
I was about to mention and ask you if it's possible if we could, or if that would be copyright, even though it's technically free on Twitch, but partnerships, legal.
Yeah,
work.
they have to give us that licensing to do so. As we're starting off, we do see the North coming out. Josh Alexander with Ethan Page. It looks like Josh Alexander is going to be wrestling today. Josh Alexander is looking like a unit, to say the least.
If you're not following Ethan Page on YouTube, you need to. They do hilarious. Oh shit!
It's really funny.
Motor City Machine Guns.
It looks like
Sabin.
Looks like Sabin is going to be wrestling. Okay, so we've got our first match: Josh Alexander of the North versus Chris Sabin of the Motor City Machine Guns.
I don't know why I cannot remember Josh Alexander. I cannot remember that damn name.
Well, I know Ethan Page for sure because I'm distracted by Alex Shelley's shirt, the skeleton thing. It's La Parka like, but I know Ethan Page because he is on a Facebook group that I, along with another one of our fellow co-hosts, William Kliske, follows, the Major Wrestling Bigger podcast, where he's there pretty frequently as well. And I know Josh Alexander because I like the dude's skill. He's a throwback to old style wrestling, but he makes it work in the modern era.
I mean, look at him. He's wearing the earmuffs. If that doesn't scream old school wrestling, I don't know what does.
Indeed.
Also, I was going to say we should cover Final Resolution this Saturday, but you're already going to be a little busy.
I think Final Resolution is next week.
It just said this Saturday.
It's this Saturday?
Yep.
Ooh, that could be a little tricky.
Yeah, nah, you're busy. It's all good.
I thought it was on the 18th. Huh. I might have mixed up my dates.
Clinton says, so did someone forget to tell Alex Shelley that's not Halloween anymore? Emo is forever.
I mean, honestly, the man has some really good stylings. I can't knock him for that. That's kind of my style. Aaron saying it's allowed on Twitch. We don't need a partnership, I believe. I'm gonna look into that, and if I can work with Impact regarding that, we'll make sure to get that done for you guys. I'll look into that. Yeah, I'm looking into it right now. It looks like Final Resolution is this Saturday. Ooh, this is gonna be tricky. Yeah, I don't. That's a mess.
No, you're busy. It's all good. Don't even try to think about it because you're good.
The only problem is it overlaps with Triple A's Triple Mania as well because that's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, don't even put any mind to it. You're good. This is the first time I've watched Impact live in probably 4 years, so no need to even get excited about Final Resolution.
I'm a fairly avid viewer of Impact. I mean, I don't watch it live all the time, but when I do get the chance, I do catch the recaps and I do watch. So I'm fairly versed in what's going on with Impact as of right now. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, this match itself is the indicator for the North versus MCMG, because at Final Resolution, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be Ethan Page, and he is facing off against... That beep catches me. He's facing off against Carl Anderson. And if he were to win that match, the North does earn a future Impact World Tag Team Championship shot. So this right now is the North's kind of momentum-building match against Motor City Machine Guns. That's not to discount that Motor City Machine Guns are still a viable threat for Impact's tag team title shots. So that there's still something to look out for in the future.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, very hard-hitting affair between the two. Chris Sabin right now on the offensive end right now. Josh Alexander with a counter and dropping Sabin with a kick to the face. Man, there's a lot of buzz for Impact today, isn't there?
That's what happens when you work with a big company like AEW.
Indeed, and I'm very glad for them. I hope this works out massively for them.
Yeah.
Because I want Impact to get more viewership, more than they get currently. They deserve it. Honestly, they deserve it. Ethan Page with the facial expressions. Chris Sabin just like, you got this. You got this.
Look at this production value.
It's so good. Like, the camera work is amazing because it's not like all over the place. And on top of that, you get the facial expressions and you get a capture of what the action is like, as well as you get every angle of the action without jarring and breaking the immersion of the product itself. And I love that.
That's what brought it up. Alexander had Sabin in a headlock, and you could see Ethan Page on one side, and you could see Alex Shelley on the other, see both their faces and the match. That's Indeed. Incredible.
And I love it. Josh Alexander right now grounding Chris Sabin. He's got a headlock. Or chin lock, rather, excuse me. A chin lock on the floor. Sabin is facing Shelley, so you can see on the sidelines that Shelley is giving Sabin some advice as well. So it is going to help Sabin in the long run. Man. Motor City Machine Guns have been going on for quite a while, haven't they?
Only like 40 years.
I wouldn't say 40 years. But I am impressed because even though they haven't been teaming very often in the on and off period, I know Shelley at one point had stopped wrestling to work on his outer career because he helps with the chiropractic and I blanked out on the word. But he's in the medical side of things. But he was stopping wrestling to do that for a time. And Sabin, as we know, was in ROH for a little while before he got injured. So It's pretty amazing to see that all of them are, for the most part, they haven't lost any momentum and any chemistry with each other.
Yeah, fun fact. Back in 2018, Alex Shelley was actually the medical lead of ROH. He was wrestling also the medical lead, so he was in charge of clearances and stuff. So he's wrestling. He's taking care of other wrestlers. That just shows he's been around forever and he knows what he's doing.
Absolutely. A lot of people speak about them with a lot of respect as well. So, they have both of them, all members on the outside right now. Ethan Page on the left side, Alex Shelley on the right, Sabin on the offensive end right now, throwing Josh Alexander back into the ring. And the North themselves, I mean, we don't talk about the North very often, but the North have been on fire in Impact Wrestling, to say the least.
I would, of course, with their record-breaking championship streak, I would put them top. I'm gonna be comfortable and say top 10 in the world. Still,
that's fair.
Not even during that run, they are still a top 10 tag team on the planet. I wanted to say 5, but I'll give them a little leeway because there's so many tag teams. But
indeed, and I mean, with everything that's going on right now with AEW and Impact's partnership, or the supposed partnership between them, I mean, there's so many dream match scenarios that you can discuss.
I mentioned this before they signed with AEW, but there's talks, of course, of FTR going to Impact. And I told our group chat, the very first match I thought of was the North versus FTR. Imagine that, dude.
I would be
technical wrestling paradise.
I would be so shell shocked. You've got FTR versus the North. You've got the Young Bucks versus Motor City Machine Guns in a rematch from way back when.
From 15 years ago.
15 years ago, back when they were Generation Me. But still, it's amazing to kind of imagine like how many scenarios could happen now as a result, if it does happen.
And the Bucks I think it was Nick actually posted on Instagram a picture of Generation Me back in the TNA days.
That was the tease that could happen down the line. Oh, Josh Alexander getting ready for a Tiger Driver, or looks like a Tiger Powerbomb, but caught with an enziguri by Chris Sabin.
It's amazing how people, women too, how these guys can still go at this rate, being wrestlers for 25 years.
It's insane.
Sabin started early 2000s, so that's
more or less,
17, 18 years. And look at him, he's still top level.
Wrestling at a top level. And on top of that, I mean, we can't discount the fact that Sabin himself was also a former world champion. He does have singles success as well as tag team success.
Drop kick.
Sabin with a standing shining wizard knocking out Josh Alexander at the moment. And it looks like Sabin's setting up for Cradle Shock. Oh. Missed up. And Josh Alexander knocking him out with the discus elbow.
Dude, are you watching this on Twitch?
I'm watching this on Twitch.
Even on Twitch, you're just ahead of me.
Am I really?
Barely. Not as bad as it has been.
Man, I'm so confused. It seems like every time either myself or Nick are online, we're always ahead.
You're in the future. You're an hour ahead of me.
I knew it. Ooh, Sabin with the roll-up. And that'll do it. Chris Sabin has defeated Josh Alexander. Wow. Not bad.
That'd be demoralizing for us coming up Saturday for the North.
I would think so.
Ethan Page's not happy at all.
What are your thoughts on that match, man?
It was good. Very good. Again, I haven't watched. I keep up with it, but I haven't watched Impact in forever. Mm-hmm. But that Sabin can go. I love the North, so of course they can go. Aren't they married?
These Josh Matthews and Madison Rayne, yes, they are married.
Clinton said the North is having some issues. Could we see a split? Probably, to be honest.
It's possible. I kind of hope not, but it's possible.
Yeah. I'd rather see them versus FTR before that happens.
There's a lot of mileage you can get before a potential North split up, but I think at this point it would be fair to plant the seeds to lead up to it. I mean, as we're seeing right now, we do have a lot of promotion and hype over the fact that Kenny Omega is present at TNA or Impact, if you will. Man, I'm very interested to see how they're going to handle this. Like, will he be in the ring? Will it be a taped appearance? Will it be something from the tour bus that we just saw earlier in the broadcast? This is something that probably will be talked about for years to come.
Yeah. Josh Matthews just mentioned that he was granted the first interview with Callis and the new champion, Kenny Omega.
There you go. Chris, I think you got a little bit of an echo feedback.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I turned up the volume for the beginning and never turned it back down.
It's all good. Eddie Kingston murdered a kid on Impact. Oh, yeah, during the storyline with the LAX breakup where the funny promo where a kid was trying to cross the street and Eddie Kingston kind of ran over the kid.
Jesus.
So to speak. Honestly, looking back on it, yeah, it's kind of silly to take it without context, but at that moment in the storyline, it was something, man. It was powerful stuff. Oh, we got a promo back from Chris Bay and Moose. Let's listen in.
Chris Bay, your new champion, coming this Saturday.
Chris Bay does have a match against Rich Swann for the Impact World Champion at Final Resolution. Moose is very intensely focused right now.
Any man with two hands has a fighting chance.
Well, this team has 4, so I think they've got double the opportunity here. Nice. Chris Bay trying to hype up the tag team match coming up between Bay and Moose versus Swann and Mac. Moose didn't want to really talk to him, but Bay saying, when he wins the Impact World Championship from Rich Swann at Final Resolution, that'll be when they want to have a conversation. Moose teasing the future feud between them. I guess we'll talk to you come next Saturday or after Saturday. Ooh, the next Impact main event, or rather show, Hard to Kill, January 16th. That'll be something we want to cover down the line, now won't we?
I don't know. I want a commercial.
So am I.
Okay.
So am I. You're good. So
what was it, Hard to Kill in January?
Hard to Kill, January 16th. I love how they turned that into a thing, just sort of because it started off as a internet meme that Impact was hard to kill. I got to give them props for owning up to that. As we see on Twitch, we're getting a little bit of Impact Plus's greatest Ultimate X moments. We've got Kazarian from Victory Road 2008. Huh. It's pretty interesting that they're pointing out Kazarian, of all people, someone from AEW as part of SCU. Coincidental, probably, but something to point out. Interesting stuff. I mean, we've got a lot to go over for this broadcast of Impact, don't we?
There's going to be a lot of stuff to go.
A lot of hype going on right now over Impact Wrestling. As you've seen, we've got Kenny Omega, Don Callis' first interview since Kenny Omega had won the AEW Championship back on Dynamite last week for Winter is Coming, which we've also covered. If you guys have the chance, check it out on our broadcast as well. You get to see our actual reactions to that whole show, and it was something magical, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something magical. You'll find those videos. You'll find that video on our YouTube link as well as on Facebook. If you get the chance, make sure to like, share, subscribe, click that notification bell, and stay tuned.
Share. Yeah.
Tell me how many views Impact has. Looking at it right now, it looks to be in the 38,000s. So, yeah, that it's growing. It is absolutely growing. Clinton going, why are we watching Victory Road 08? It's because Impact's also being broadcast on Axis. So to cover up the commercials on that end, right now what we're getting is Impact's way of plugging the commercials on Twitch.
Hey, look, it's Davari.
Davari.
Dude, I watched the 2005 Royal Rumble last night.
Mm-hmm. Very good stuff, right?
It was a thing.
The Ruthless Aggression era. I know everybody's always fond of the Attitude Era, but not a lot of people are fond of the Ruthless Aggression era. That was once wrestling kind of hit a good peak.
Yeah. I mentioned earlier about we're here to talk to fans and talk about.
Oh my God!
What?
Do you see what's on Twitch? Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone are doing a following paid All Elite advertisement for Dynamite.
Why is this paid ad?
Oh, wow. Wait, that... Interesting. So Tony Khan just mentioned that if he really wanted to, he could have filed an injunction to prevent Kenny from appearing on his show, but he's not going to because he would rather help fund Impact by having the AEW champion there. So a little bit of an obnoxious comment there from Tony Khan.
Playing mind games.
And we got a promotion for All Elite Dynamite tomorrow. All Elite Wrestling Dynamite, excuse me. So Impact Wrestling is promoting AEW tomorrow.
No, AEW is promoting AEW for tomorrow.
Okay. AEW is promoting AEW on Impact's airtime.
Yes.
Did I just see the Young Bucks versus the Hybrid 2?
Hybrid 2.
Oh my goodness.
They ain't winning, but TH2.
Tony Schiavone and Tony Khan are on Impact Wrestling right now. Tony Schiavone is going to be interviewing Sting. Wow.
Tony Khan is acting like an annoying little runt character, and I love it.
It's funny because he has this whole thing where he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go buy Impact whenever I want." Like we know it's not the case, but it's funny to see, to say the least. Oh, it looks like we've got Brian Myers coming out. I love watching Brian Myers. He's so cool.
The world's most professional wrestler. Clinton said, "Wait, Tony Khan just threatened to buy Impact."
Yeah, that's his character, right? I guess he's showing up as an obnoxious owner who could stop Kenny Omega showing up, but he feels it's going to help Impact, so he's not going to. In a sense, you're kind of making your champion to seem like a big deal, ironically, by doing that. Ooh, okay. So Brian Myers versus TJP. I'm okay with that. Your favorite wrestler, right, Chris?
Yeah, two guys that I just love.
I love these two. I love watching these two wrestle. TJP with his innovative offense, Brian Myers with his very refined style of wrestling. Should promise to be a very entertaining bout, I will say.
I just want to say TJP is getting younger and younger.
He is. It's kind of funny,
he looks
isn't it?
like he's still like 19 years old.
William, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining us. I see you and Braden are on today. Braden, how's it going, buddy? Hope you're enjoying the day, and I hope we're making you, we're entertaining you.
Thanks for watching us, guys. Hey, Braden.
Braden is Will's nephew. His little nephew.
He was on our Wednesday stream the other day.
He was.
TJP is in the Super J Cup. He is indeed.
He is. And like I said before, we are covering the Super J Cup as well as Triple H Triple Mania this Saturday, December 12th. Look out for a post for that one. That's going to be coming very, very shortly.
What time is either one of those?
I'll cover it in the post itself, but Triple Mania is going to be starting first. I believe the main show is at 8 o'clock, and the Super J Cup is at 10. That's all in Eastern Standard Time, by the way.
I should be able to do that. I'm off Sunday, so I won't.
Oh, there you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will be here Saturday night.
Beautiful. We'll say we're tuning in a bit late, but we're here and we're loving it. Definitely, man.
You're not missing anything yet. We had a great match between Josh Alexander and Chris Sabin, but that's about it.
Yeah. And you missed a pretty passionate first 30 minutes of the show, though. You definitely are going to want to check that out.
Yeah. Is TJP pumping up his kicks, John Cena style?
He might be. TJP, as we know, he's the type of person that would use an action replay on an arcade machine just to say you got the high score. But, besides the point. Adding to your point a little bit earlier, I know you mentioned TJP was looking younger every time. I think that's why he got the tattoos, just to look a little bit older. But it's not helping, is it? It's not exactly helping.
It's crazy because he's mid-30s now, right?
Yeah, he's in mid-30s at this point, and he's still moving around and flying as if he was, as perfect example right there, as if he was like an 18-year-old, like a young Rey Mysterio. And this is another one of his innovative maneuvers that I kind of like. If he sharpshooter turned into the Muda lock. I'm such a fan of the Muda lock. It looks it looks painful when actually locked in.
It's nice. Yeah, TJP, he's in his mid-30s, but if this was the first show I watched, or if this was the first time I ever saw TJP, I would say he's 20, 21. I'd say he was a rookie. I'd agree with you. Yeah. William Heisen Jr., I am with you, my friend.
Not a big TJP fan. Understandable. I mean, a lot of people kind of don't like the mannerisms of TJ, like this, for example. This kind of breaks the immersion a little bit, but I see it. Also, the dabs.
And
well, there is that. TJP using Last Chancery of Brian Myers. It wasn't the Last Chancery, actually. Last Chancery doesn't involve the deathlock. Yeah, Last Chancery is just have him face down and then come back in with a flip and pull back up. It doesn't actually involve the legs, though. But very similar maneuver. I think, actually, the Muda lock was what inspired the Last Chancery, in a sense. Not 100% sure on that, but I will do a little research on that one. Back in the commercial. Looks like we're so far a very good match between TJP and Brian Myers. TJP on the outside right now. Brian Myers on the offensive. Taken to commercial.
I was expecting another AEW promo.
This is for Final Resolution, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, it is. Final Resolution. I had to re up my volume a little bit for it.
Do they still have the Impact title and TNA title thing going on?
So right now, Moose still has the TNA Heavyweight Championship. calling himself the self-proclaimed TNA World Heavyweight Champion. The title, as we all know, is not actually sanctioned by Impact Wrestling.
Do you see what's on
However,
our TVs right now?
what's up?
Do you see what's on our TVs right now?
Motor City Machine Guns versus the Young Bucks, Generation Me.
Generation Me.
How coincidental that they would bring up that match in particular.
Earlier when I mentioned that Nick Jackson posted on Instagram a promo or a picture of Generation Me, it was this match.
And this would be the reason why we brought it up. One of the better matches in both Motor City Machine Guns and the Young Bucks' career at that point in time.
Imagine little us 10 years ago watching wrestling, knowing what we knew now. Knowing that Generation Me was nothing compared to what was about to happen.
I'll one-up you. Imagine knowing what we know now, watching that at that time period, and knowing that those guys are going to be the EVPs of what could arguably be one of the best promotions going on today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to put it in perspective, this was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago. Man. It really puts it in perspective, doesn't it? How far wrestling has come.
Crazy. I don't feel like I've been watching wrestling for 16 years.
Has it? Oh my God, it's been even longer for me. I've been watching, my first wrestling experience was watching The Undertaker versus Kane back in 97?
Damn.
Yeah, 97, 98. And from there, that's when I started, that's when I started watching, if you will.
I don't know what I was doing. I was flipping through the channels. It was 2004. Flipping through the channels, but something just caught my eye. I remember William Regal and Eugene being there.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can remember right now.
That was around the Ruthless Aggression era.
Yeah.
Oh, sliced bread.
Because it started in 2004 because it was leading up to the WrestleMania 21.
Mm-hmm.
WrestleMania 21 was my first pay-per-view. And I lost my train of thought.
You started talking about William
Regal. I was flipping through channels and saw it and was just, I was like, wow, this is cool. And I haven't stopped watching it since. Well, I took a little break, but
yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, as we watched this little interaction, if anything, this, I guess for lack of a better term, even though it's not really justified in saying this, but I'll say for the sake of what it is in this perspective, that was a nasty fall. In this perspective, this is kind of Impact's coming out party, if you will. Like, this is where they need to make a big impression to keep the viewership that is inevitably going to grow, because
absolutely
AEW has given them quite a platform right now.
Yeah. This isn't just to promote Kenny Omega. This is to help Impact.
Absolutely.
It's a partnership in all the definitions.
Martin saying that AEW commercial was amazing. It absolutely was. A good throwback, to say the least. Martin, welcome to the show, buddy. Thank you for joining us. Clinton saying, so yeah, loving the show so far. Aaron saying at William, at this point, that's a big hot take. It is a pretty big hot, at least for me, it's a hot take. I'm a fan of TJP, I'll say the least. You know. And William saying, big point out. This show has been taped. I know there are certain things that kind of were added last minute to kind of, add a little bit to it, but for the most part, the shows have been pretty much taped. So, that immersion's been broken. Well, I will say, don't spoil it though, because we do want to keep it going as if it is a live show. Thank you, though. Ooh, TJP with the float over into the suplexes. I love these styles of suplexes. I know,
I'm glad you said that because I love them.
I love them. Like, they look impactful, and that's at the same time,
they look cooler.
It's cool. We'll say he'd never spoil. Thank you so much, my man. Thank you so much. Man, I'm a huge fan of Brian Myers. I know he didn't really get a bit of a fair shake in the WWE with how he was kind of handled, but Brian Myers is he's a very technical wrestler, and when you give him the ball, he will run with it.
Who would win a match first, the 2020 New York Football Jets or Brian Myers in WWE?
I'm going to leave that question up to the comments section. I want to hear what the comment section is going to have to say about that one.
All right, comments. 2020 Jets or what was it, 2018-ish? 2018-ish Brian Myers? Or, excuse me, what was his name?
The Jets or Brian Myers? Kurt Hawkins.
Hawkins, yes. Hawkins or Jets?
The TJP would have countered over, float over into a back suplex.
Can't relate. And back suplex. This is getting worse. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm resetting my stream.
Myers countering a splash from TJP, putting the knees up and floating over into a roll-up, only getting a 2 count for that, though. Will saying he's good friends with a producer of Impact. He also used to be the main producer and director of ECW. Wow. I didn't know that, buddy. That's actually really cool. Wow. So that's how you knew about all those results. Oh, wow.
Hawkins cheated. Damn it.
Myers
cheated.
Myers cheating. Spinebuster from Brian Myers setting up for... That was a nasty lariat. Actually, would you call it a clothesline or a lariat? Clothesline was like just a straight arm, and a lariat was just an arm strike. Huh.
I'd say clothesline.
I would say clothesline now that I think about it. Martin's saying that's a tough one, but he's got to say Kurt Hawkins would win before the Jets. Clinton saying 3 Amigo style suplex from TJP. It's cool to watch him do that. I wouldn't say it's 3 Amigo. I could see where you would say it's 3 Amigo style because the way it was handled, but technique was a little bit different. Just a tiny bit.
I would say 3 Amigo style is literally just 3 in a row.
It wasn't 3 in a row.
Ooh, James Storm. Just kidding. I don't know who that is.
Uno momento.
Is that Diener?
Diener. It's not about we. Oh. Okay, there's a little bit of personal stakes in this match. Okay. A little bit of a personal stakes in this match.
I love the clown emoji.
Clown emoji?
Yeah.
Why the clown emoji? What in particular about the clown emoji?
I like it. It makes people look like clowns.
I love how clowns have become a thing. Just because it just showcases... Well, the Joker, but it also showcases the whole fact that somebody's stupid. It's just funny. Aaron says both of us should buy the Rikishi shirt with the butt cheeks on the back. I didn't even know there was a Rikishi shirt with the butt cheeks on the back.
Excuse me?
I have questions.
Ooh, Sting and Kurt Angle.
And AJ Styles.
And Kazarian. Someone call Vince.
We'll say we met through a mutual friend. He's still very good friends with G Dreamer, and let me go back to the Last Stage House of Hardcore show, and I got to meet everyone. One of the best wrestling experiences. That's awesome. That's stuff that I like to hear. Those type of experiences. Guys in the comment section, shout out your wrestling experiences. What are your favorite wrestling experiences so far?
Yeah, tell us your favorite or the coolest.
Yeah, I want to hear that.
Something that not many people can say.
Listen to you guys on my tablet and Impact on my laptop and wearing 2 headsets to listen at the same time. I know that feeling, my man. I'm doing both right now.
Yeah, I was about to have to put this on to listen to Impact and then talk to y'all, but I don't need sound.
You wouldn't be able to. Will asking if I'm going to the toy drive. I'm going to try my best. For those of you who don't know, there is a toy drive going on, sponsored by, that is a lovely 450, sponsored by the MWF podcast group with Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, if you will, or Matt Cardona and Brian Myers, along with the rest of the boys of that podcast. Will, if you get the chance, can you put the details down in the comment section below? Because I do want people to know about that as well. And I'll shout them out for it too. I absolutely will shout them out for it. It's a worthy cause. A lot of the toys going to charity as well.
AJ Styles winning the TNA Impact Championship.
Man, I remember this. I remember in hindsight when it happened too, I was a little bit perplexed because you saw Sting had the chance to win and then decided, I don't want this. I'm just going to go attack somebody else. And then he gave AJ to win. So in my head, I'm thinking, AJ didn't really win that title. He was handed the title. I still loved it, though, because I was a major AJ Styles mark back then. But
I honestly didn't care for Styles back then because I just like the edgy dudes like Jeff and.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
Yeah.
I remember when I first got to see Impact back then, TNA. At the time, it was when they were first starting TNA Impact, when they were first starting on FS1. And I remember seeing AJ Styles wrestle. I forget who exactly he wrestled at the time. But it was a timed match because that's when they had the timers on the top and stuff. And I remember my jaw dropping every time I saw like AJ do any type of move because his style was so dynamic back then. And I remember wanting to see more, and that's how I became a fan of TNA.
I don't remember how I started TNA. I remember watching WWE, and I was like, "Oh, another show," and then I just ended up starting TNA as well.
I would love to. Aaron saying, "Show the shirt on stream, you coward." Are you talking about the Rikishi shirt or our shirts? Because the Rikishi shirt, I can't pull up on stream right now because it actually won't let me while we have a live broadcast because I can't share the stream. I see Chris will probably pull it up on his phone or something. Oh, there you go. There's the shirt.
Yeah, that's up. This is.
It looks like a potato wearing a hat. Okay, take it down. It looks like 2 potatoes put together with like a scully on. I digress. As we're watching this highlight, and I see Will is gonna put down the information on the toy drive for us, which I will shout out on air as well because it's a charitable cause. And as you hear the fire trucks in the background, on my end.
Say, is your town burning down or something?
My town is burning down because we are live on air. That's what's happening. Hey, Rohit Raju and TJP.
Hey man, y'all just finished?
You got a long message there from Martin if you want to read it.
Sure. I was at TNA Fan Fest, lockdown in 2008. I was in line to meet Christian. When I got up to him, I was seeing his catchphrase, and he interrupted me and finished his catchphrase. So AJ Styles is the reason I start to watch more than WWE. When I first saw him, I was hooked. Absolutely. AJ Styles, for many people, was kind of the gateway for... Wait. Hold that thought. Oh, that's so heartbreaking. So Rohit Raju is starting. He's obviously feuding with TJP, but what he's doing for Final Resolution is he's continuing the Final Defeat Rohit Challenge of 2020, but he opened it up to everyone except TJP.
It's gonna be someone from AEW, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'm over here waiting for the fucking battle pass.
Just saying good luck to him. Yeah, AJ Styles has been the gateway for a lot of people who had started to watch Impact Wrestling. And that's a pretty cool experience, Martin. Getting to meet Christian and then having him interrupt as you're saying his catchphrase. I remember Christian at the time was a heel, to say the least. As Joe Doering and Eric Young come out, that's going to start.
I'm over here.
I see what you mean by Stan Henson now.
Right?
I mean, he's just another cowboy, but I can see it.
Wait till you see him wrestle. The man is a beast. Now, I just want to make sure I have who's actually going to be wrestling. It's Eric Young versus Cody Deaner, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Deaner versus Young, yeah.
Man, Eric Young has been on a tear since he came back, hasn't he?
He has. It was interesting that they gave him the title when they did, even though he held it for less than a month. But
it is, but man, has he really taken the ball and run with it?
He should have never left.
I mean, I guess it's because nothing would really have came out of him staying. But man, oh man, was he when he came back, he was on fire.
Aaron said Pac should be the one to destroy Raju in 30 seconds. I don't think it would take that long.
What did I do? Oh, man.
Are we still live?
Oh, we're live.
Okay.
We're live. I just didn't have the graphics set up for us. Cody Deaner versus Eric Young.
Aaron said Eric Young looks like Slapjack in that mask. I was thinking the exact same thing.
That's funny. I just wanted to point this out during the match. Those who weren't aware, all last month and this month, the MWFP, the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast, has been sponsoring a toy drive. On December 10th, the big finale will happen at Creative Pro Wrestling, where you bring 2 brand new wrestling figures to donate. You get in and you get to meet all in attendance, which is Tommy Dreamer, Taz, MJF, the Beaver Boys, Cardona, and Myers, Zack Ryder, and Kurt Hawkins, for those the casual fans who haven't been aware. And if you bring 10 new wrestling toys to donate, you also get an exclusive 8x10 signed by everyone as well. So, like I said, that's something that you will want to look forward to. Definitely a charitable cause. If you guys bring in 10 new wrestling toys to donate, it could be, the elite figures if you're collecting them, the classic figures, the basic figures, any toys, wrestling toys that you have that you want to donate to them. You also get an exclusive 8x10, but you're helping out all the kids that don't have toys. So it's something that's a worthwhile cause, and it's happening on December 10th at the big finale for Creative Pro Wrestling. So definitely I recommend checking that out as well.
Help some kids with their Christmas.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, William.
Thank you, William.
And thank you, Matt Cardona and Brian Myers, for that as well.
The whole Major Podcast crew.
Absolutely. Aaron going, where's my man Johnny Swinger? Well, I mean, I haven't seen him yet, but I'm sure he's going to be on the broadcast pretty soon. He has been acquitted.
That's Johnny Bravo.
He's been acquitted. He's not responsible for Johnny Bravo being murdered. Thank goodness.
Moited.
Aaron saying it should be Pac. Pac should destroy Rohit Raju in 30 seconds. Wow, Pac in Impact Wrestling. I'd be interested in that.
I don't like it.
I'd be interested in it. I would like to see where it would go, but I wouldn't be a total fan of it going forward. Awesome to see Cody Deaner came since he first debuted in TNA with ODB. I didn't want to point it out, but yeah, that was a thing way back when Cody Deaner and ODB were an on-screen couple. And I think at one point they won the Impact Knockout Tag Team Championships, or was that what they
did? No, they did.
They did, right? Yeah, that was something you don't want to. I don't think anybody wants to actually relive.
Which is funny that we're mentioning ODB and Deaner when Eric Young is also here and they were married on screen.
Ironically enough, I think ODB, from what I remember, is either retired or semi-retired while she's running her food truck.
She's retired.
She's retired. Martin saying, actually, Christian was a face during the time where I went. That's true. There was a time where Christian was a face, and then he went to being a heel.
Christian as a face?
Christian Cage at the time. When he came in, he was a face, and he did win. I think he won the NWA World Heavyweight Championship from Jeff Jarrett for a time too, which was cool.
I'm so sorry, y'all. Oh, tired.
Terrible, unacceptable, the worst.
Got a whole nother hour and 10 minutes.
Psh, that's not so bad.
Dude, I'm ready for this women's tag team match.
You and me both. But right now, we've got a pretty entertaining match with Cody Deaner and Eric Young. I mean, right now, Deaner is dominating Eric Young, but taking too much time because Cousin Jake kind of distracted him, missing the flying headbutt. Eric Young getting ready for the pile driver finish. And there you go. 1, 2, 3.
Short and straight to the point.
Absolutely what it needed to be.
Deaner can't get it done.
Now, here's the thing to note during that event. Cousin Jake actually interrupted the attention span of Cody Deaner as he was going to the top rope for the flying headbutt. Joe Doring coming into the ring. Cousin Jake coming in to attack Joe Doring, but did not work out. Do you see what I mean now by modern Stan Hansen?
That clothesline? Yes.
Stan Hansen with the legendary lariat and Joe Doring carrying it with the short arm lariat. Well, saying another favorite wrestling experience of mine, Starcast and All In. Now that's something I wanted to. Oh, whoa, Rhino coming out with a lead pipe. Starcast and All In, everything about it. The entire weekend was so crazy. From meeting all the wrestlers there to meeting all the fans who drove and flew from all over to be there. Great time that I'll never forget. I wanted to go to Starcast. I never got the chance.
I can't imagine just being somewhere like that.
Man,
that sounds like a reasonable price.
I would have loved to have gone there if I could. I'm kind of upset that I missed it, but work. It is what it is. The Deaners just got destroyed. Wait, it's Rhino. Rhino coming in with the lead pipe equalizer, chasing off Joe Doring.
Dude, I have so many wrestling experiences. I don't have a favorite.
We already heard mine, that experience with Daga and the promo with Joe Gertner. Oh, wait. Tommy Jupiter and Johnny Bravo.
There's two in there, bro.
Dreamer is ready. And there's Triple XL.
Oh, this is Triple XL.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's clip for you.
Big boys.
The big boys, but they have such a powerhouse style. I love it. Oh.
Sorry.
Tommy Dreamer versus. Wait, what?
Oh, God.
It's a continuation of It's a continuation from Wrestle House, basically, because he was accused of murder, if you will.
Murder.
So Larry D versus Tommy Dreamer confirmed for final resolution. If Tommy Dreamer wins, then Larry would be locked up after his accused murder. But if Larry wins, he's a free man. As we see now on Twitch, at least, we have another repeat from Impact's Greatest Betrayals. Bully Ray getting the hammer from Devon during Aces and Eights, forming the dominant Aces and Eights group.
Did you know Aces and Eights was supposed to come back, but they never did?
Yeah, that was teased for a bit on Busted Open Radio for a little bit, wasn't it? Ultimately did not pan out, but it got the world talking, that's for sure.
That's right.
Aaron, favorite Okada match that isn't a match with Omega? Ooh, that's an interesting one.
This doesn't sound very promising. I don't remember what the match was, but I remember the card. Let me go look.
Go for it. Clinton saying
I can
Okada
go look at the
versus
event
Ospreay.
and tell you
That
which
was also
one
a
it
really
was.
good one.
Dude, I don't even know what event it was. I have the DVD somewhere.
Take your time, man.
I'm good. I can't get to it.
Making my way down.
William saying every match with
Hulk
Okada
Hogan
and Omega was
outside.
good.
No, Hulk Hogan, no.
No. And at that point, Bully Ray was married to Brooke Hogan.
Yes. Hey, look, D'Lo Brown and Ken
D'Lo,
Anderson.
Mr. Anderson, Devon. William picking Okada versus Skrull. That was also a good one. All in. I'm gonna say Okada versus Shibata. That's my pick. But
Okada,
I mean,
Shibata.
I'd be remiss to not mention the ending being the unfortunate end of Shibata's in-ring career. But for what it was worth, that match was one of my favorites.
Do you like your sandwiches on Shibata buns?
I despise you.
Man, I was really excited for this new season.
Man, there's so much history when it comes to Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, we're pulling up.
Clinton saying Okada versus Suzuki. That was also a very good one.
Yeah, we're going to the bye. They hopped out.
Chris is still looking up his
yes.
preferred option.
Yes.
No worries, man. Well, I will say for everyone that's joining us today for our NWA Shockwave recap as well as our Impact Wrestling Live watch along, thank you so much for joining us today. As you know, I am Andrew Samru. To my right, we've got our buddy Chris Carradine. This is our Impact Wrestling watch along. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So make sure to catch up on all three of those platforms. Give us a like, give us a follow. Make sure to click that bell notification so you are up to date on everything that is live with our stream. And stay tuned because you never know what will pop in next.
That's right. And on Facebook, not just liking, like and follow, so you get
Likes
all
and follows.
notifications.
Indeed.
If you just follow and don't like, you won't get notifications. So you have to do both.
You got to do both. That's the biggie. You'll get some notifications, but you won't get all of them. So you won't get all the updates.
He's right here, right offense, pal.
Aaron says somebody said his name right.
I've had to correct him a few times. It's okay.
I'm terrible with names, so if I've mispronounced your name at any point during the stream when you've commented, I apologize. But make sure to let me know in the comment section below so that if I do say it again, I'll say it right this time.
I have my favorite match.
What is your favorite match?
Kazuchika Okada versus Cedric Alexander at Global Wars 15.
Ooh,
ROH.
that is an underrated gem. Very nice.
Back when Cedric Alexander was chunky. That was before the 205 era.
I mean, the man, Cedric was still really good back then.
Oh,
just,
dude, yes. Another match that happened on that card was ACH versus Shinsuke. That was also a barn burner.
Indeed.
We're getting third party.
There's a lot, man. The ROH
that whole card was good.
I was just about to say it. That
whole card might be a top 3 pay-per-view out of all the promotions for me.
I remember wanting to go to the one that was in the Hammerstein Ball. Oh, we're back with Scott D'Amore on screen. Scott and Tommy Dreamer.
I just reread Aaron's thing. Holy crap, someone said it right. Pog. Poggers in the chat, y'all.
Over here too, bro.
Tommy Dreamer expressing his concerns with AEW.
William says, so this is the first time I'm actually saying it, Andrew, but I go by my last name, Hyson.
Hyson. It's Hyson, right? I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing that right for the future.
That's how I said it, Hyson. Like Tyson.
That's what I'm thinking, but I just want to be on the safe side, you know what I mean? Got it. So I'll make sure to I'll make a mental note of that for the future, for sure. So Scott D'Amore right now, for those of you who aren't able to see, he's currently hyped up by the fact that the numbers are rising up as a result of the AEW partnership with Kenny Omega showing up. Tommy Dreamer is right now next to him. He's concerned about this partnership.
Hey, we did it. Andrew, we did it. We pronounced it right.
Oh, perfect. I like Tyson with an H. Got it. I gotcha. Yeah, that's ooh. That does plant a little bit of a negative seed about the whole partnership too.
Here we go.
Here we go. Match number 4. Rosemary and Taya versus Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly in the Knockouts Tag Team Title Tournament. Deonna Purrazzo, as we know, now the current Impact Knockouts champion, winning the title back from Su Yung at Turning Point.
She should have never lost it. But
there were reasons for that.
Yeah, stuff happens for a reason.
Indeed. But that's neither here nor there.
That's right. They'll just add to her reigns.
Indeed. And now she's signed, so who knows? Tyson saying, "Ooh, I love Deonna. WWE wasted her talent, and I'm so happy she got the push she deserved with Impact." Absolutely.
I
Deonna's so
couldn't have
talented.
said it any better. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Deonna's so talented. She deserves this. Here comes Taya. That's a big point too, that Taya was the longest reigning Impact Knockouts champion at the time.
Yeah, I got mine all.
Now, if I remember correctly, Taya is not wrestling for AAA this Saturday, so that is something to keep a mind out. But she does wrestle with them.
One, bro, and you can get both of us.
Is she still the Reina de Reinas champion?
No, I don't think she is. Actually, she might be. I'm gonna do a quick checkup on my history side.
Hey guys, look, it's Rosemary, the wrestler that our friend Andrew met last weekend. No, it was a few days ago, wasn't it?
It was this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. She is the current Reina de Reinas champion. You were right, Chris.
Bam.
And yes, I have met Rosemary on at Sunday. Very, very awesome person to meet. I will say that much. Oh boy. I got to meet the envy shard of Rosemary. So Rosemary, as we all know, is broken up into 7 shards following the Undead Realm story with Su Yung. So I got to meet Envy. Envy is super cool. I think my favorite one next to Pride. But yeah, very, very awesome person to meet and very nice. I couldn't recommend her enough. I was absolutely frozen from the weather beforehand, but you know. Yeah, Clinton. Andrew, here's your Rosemary.
It's either that or the fucking things is ripped up.
Now, Chris, I want to get your thoughts on this one. Who do you think has the better option to win this match? Just first impressions.
Rosemary and Taya.
Rosemary and Taya?
Yeah, because of course, you don't want to pull a WWE and have your women's champion as the tag champion as well. And I don't know, I just see Rosemary and Taya as a bigger draw. I mean, that's obviously nothing against Purrazzo, but she's instantly going for the Fujiwara.
I'm gonna try to drop my body.
Yeah, no, I would take the 2 bigger draws than Deonna and Kimber.
That's fair. As we know, Ty and Rosemary part of Wrestle House. Rosemary, unfortunately, the wedding with Johnny Bravo ultimately did not pan out, revealing that Rosemary just wanted Johnny Bravo for his virgin blood, if you will. And as we know, Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly, their alliance, as of now, with Deonna Purrazzo currently the Impact Knockouts champion. Also of note, the current story with Deonna making a deal with Father James Mitchell, which has resulted in the subduance of Su Yung at this time. Father James Mitchell, if you had seen last week's Impact broadcast, taking Su Yung away with her bridesmaids. But we haven't seen the results of the other side of the deal. As we all know, making a deal with the devil with Father James Mitchell always has some consequences.
That could come back to bite her now.
It very well could be, especially in her match with Rosemary. Rosemary, no stranger to the undead realm, as we all know.
Right there, Andy.
Now, you've got to imagine, once Rosemary's reunited,
Yeah.
I don't think the partnership with Taya will last very long. As we all know, Taya and Rosemary never really did get along beforehand. But they're together now because of the pride shard of Rosemary. So it'll be interesting to see that partnership kind of come to an end once the shards are reunited.
Talk about... Oh, good.
Yep. I was going to say, Aaron just wanted to bask in the glory of the final Generico versus Kevin Steen ladder war from Final Battle 2012. One of my favorite matches ever. Absolutely a really great match. Definitely. What were you saying, Chris?
I don't know.
You were going to talk about something. I was mentioning the deal with the devil, the reunion of the Rosemary.
Oh, yes. Very interesting storyline. Like, who would have ever thought to separate a character into 7 different characters?
It's unique because Rosemary, I mean, we already know Rosemary's actually perfect timing that Heisen, you kind of mentioned it.
Yeah.
The whole Rosemary.
I don't know anything about it either. It's okay.
So I'll give you a bit of a Cliff Notes version because it's very complex, for lack of a better term. But nasty double suplex by Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly. Right now they're on the offense. Rosemary, as we all know, since she answered with Decay, she was always the demon assassin, the Hive Queen, the soldier of the Hive, if you will. And after breaking off from Decay, she kind of took on her own identity, so to speak. Winning the Knockouts Championship and getting involved with Father James Mitchell and Su Yung. So when Allie was still in Impact at the time, a deal was made because Rosemary got burned from Su Yung. Allie taking over Rosemary, joining the dark side to combat Su Yung. Ultimately did not really pan out, which resulted in a deal with the devil made between Allie and Father James Mitchell to get Rosemary back. What happened as a result of that, or actually not Rosemary, Kiera Hogan. That resulted in her coming back, but Allie's soul being stuck in the undead realm. Kiera Hogan going into the undead realm to get Allie's soul back with her. Ultimately resulting in Allie going back to the bad side, which resulted in the Demon Bunny storyline. Allie ultimately dying as a result of that. And
R.I.P. Bunny.
R.I.P. Bunny. Allie dying, and Rosemary, after that storyline with Su Yung, came back from the undead realm, split into 7 different shards, each representing the 7 deadly sins. So whenever you see, like, online on Twitter and all the social media stuff, they're managed by the Pride Shard of Rosemary. And whenever there's merchandise being sold or like any appearances or signings, you'll see the Envy Shard.
Was her hair purple like this when you saw her?
It was. It was actually tied up. It was tied up.
I saw the picture. I just don't remember.
It was tied up into pigtails, and she was dressed very casual, but she was super awesome. Purrazzo with the flatliner. Tagging in Kimberly right now.
NXT, look what you did. Look what you missed out on.
Right? Deonna has so much upside. It's a shame that she wasn't really utilized enough.
Yeah.
Anytime, buddy. I hope I kind of explained that as understandable as I know I got a little kind of tossed away, but it's a super complex storyline with how it was handled. I recommend if you can catch it on YouTube, catch a bit of a synopsis as to what it is, but I tried my best to explain the gist of it.
What's the connection between Deonna and Kimber?
Kimber kind of just joined up with Deanna basically as a result of the Susie and Kylie Ray story. Wow. They both did the splits in their fighting. That's actually pretty hilarious. Um, Kimber kind of joined up with Deanna because of what happened with the storyline with Susie and Kylie Ray, kind of like the Mean Girls group.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Deanna hitting Kimber with a bicycle kick.
and Rosemary hitting a spear on Kimber. Double underhook.
Wing clipper.
Very nice. Rosemary beating Kimberly. So Taya and Rosemary advancing.
Good match for what it was.
Indeed. So Deanna and Rosemary advance.
Hey, man. Thursday.
What did you think about the match?
That was good. It was good. I mean, it was maybe 6 or 7 minutes long, but it was good for what they gave them.
Fair.
And I was kind of referring to it earlier when you asked me who I thought would win. You have 2 main event draws with Taya and Rosemary, and then you have the women's champion. And I wouldn't. This is absolutely no disrespect to Kimber, but I don't see her as a main event card kind of person. So you want to take the 2 guaranteed main eventers over the women's champion and her partner, if that makes sense. Yeah. Shout out to Tennille.
Tennille Dashwood.
Yes.
Who?
That's the attack on Alicia Edwards. Interesting. Dropping my end. Anytime. Well, that was perfect. Knowing coming into this match. Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of our roles here at Respect the Ring. We want to make sure that not only you're entertained, but you know more coming in than you did from the start, and that's our goal.
Absolutely.
Or we give you our other guys' money. So if you didn't learn anything, you might get some money it might take 25 to 50 business days, but it'll get there. It'll get there.
Big Money Will is 100% on his refunds.
Absolutely. Or your money back.
Yeah.
Impact has the best women's division in all of wrestling right now. I actually would agree with you on that one. Their women's division is very underrated, to say the least. I don't think they get enough credit. We got a little bit of a promo going on for Impact's shop. They do have a lot of good stuff in there. I will say that much.
I haven't looked in forever.
You've got a lot of memorabilia there, as you're seeing right now.
I do, actually. That's just kind of spread out everywhere.
All over.
Just need a little something for the background.
Oh, in the background. Speaking of background.
Oh no. Oh no, the algebra.
So for those of you who aren't watching on Twitch's broadcast, we're getting the Scott Steiner math promo, the infamous math promo. So I'm just looking at Rocka-Khan holding the X Division Championship, and
I forgot she existed, dude.
She wasn't really very. She didn't do much. She was just a manager for the most part. Petey Williams is confused. Little Petey Pump. Hyson saying, I get the money from a POSJ and WC. So for those of you who don't know, Hyson and I are involved in a little bit of a pick'ems contest, if you will, with the Best of Super Juniors in the World Tag League, a subgroup within the MWF podcast group. And Hyson's winning right now. I'm probably going to lose pretty bad. I did win the G1 Climax, but man, I absolutely crapped the bed when it came to this one. I will say the least.
Petey's reaction is killing me. He's just like,
what? It's so weird. He actually looks like him.
okay, bro.
Oh man, I forgot how much. And then the funny thing is, when he talked about this thing, Kurt Angle wasn't even in the match. Kazarian got put in, so the odds just did not work in Steiner's favor.
More math.
I could just imagine, like in my head, this is my headcanon officially. So like while Steiner's doing all the math promos, he's like a college student, just writing all over the walls and stuff, like all these complex calculus equations and stuff. And that's how he got to this part where like he reveals, his calculations. And then like Kaz gets added, and then he redoes the calculations, and he's like, now my odds go down. Oh. Back on air, we've got Deanna complaining to Scott D'Amore.
I broke your shield. Where'd you drop it? Oh. Yo, right here, Jordan.
Okay, so D'Amore is just
Nice.
condescendingly
He's just
chastising.
laying into him.
He's laying into them.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
Oh,
I got 2 throwing knives and lashing these.
oh! Official final resolution match being made. Impact Knockout Championship, Deonna Purrazzo versus Rosemary. Much to Purrazzo's chagrin, if you will.
Kimber, this is all your fault.
It kind of is. It low-key kind of is.
About a move.
Sami Callihan now out in the ring. Those of you who saw the last broadcast will know that Ken Shamrock has currently been suspended for 30 days as a result of all his actions.
Yeah, he's in the sky.
Oh, what a jerk coughing into the mic.
Straight down.
Someone else has to use that. I hope he was tested.
They're going to sanitize it.
Oh, he dropped down. He's over here.
Oh, we're still...
Thanks, man.
A little bit of throwback to Alex Trebek, who was the best wrestler in the world. Ding, ding, ding. The draw, Sami Callihan. Sally Callahan. Wow. Terrible. Nobody make that trending.
Sally Callahan.
Nobody make that
That's
trending at
on
all.
the
He will kill me.
Where's the shield spell? No, it's okay.
Now, I wonder if this is... I'm curious about something, but
Can you throw the ammo box?
I want to see if they're actually going to do it.
Bobby's right there. Not too far. Yeah.
Okay, so nothing yet. So we're getting a promo that's hyping up the inevitable feud with Sammy and Eddie Edwards, if you will.
Jordan stop with his PlayStation antics.
He still roll that beautiful bean footage.
Oh, man. Those of you who are Impact historians will know that that's what kickstarted Eddie Edwards on the downward spiral to becoming insane, if you will. One of Eddie Edwards' greatest runs, if you will. Hyson saying, I feel like Impact has a really great roster. However, their main event scene feels iffy to me. I can't get behind Sammy, Eddie, or Rich and all. That's fair. I mean, that is fair. it's weird because a lot of times you'll look at these guys and you'll think to yourself, it seems a little odd that these guys could be believable champions. And then they kind of have the opportunity to change your mind in the middle of the ring when they're actually doing their thing, you know? I knew Sami Callihan was really good because I watched his career back when he was part of the Switchblade conspiracy with John Moxley, if you will. And from there, I saw him grow into, someone that's just a hard hitter, like in Lucha Underground, Jeremiah Crane. So it's fair. It's fair.
Hey. You could have
Eddie Edwards, I know he was the tag team wrestler for the most part, and he kind of grew into his own as a singles wrestler, as we all know, because Dave Richards is an EMT and a firefighter as well. So it makes sense that he wouldn't really be on much, but I could see where you're coming with that. Oh, that is not footage. That is Alicia Edwards walking out right now.
I think so. I'm not too sure.
Beep.
I joke in August. Yeah,
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
That beautiful beep footage. So we're getting a revisiting of the Sami Callihan versus Eddie Edwards feud.
bullshit. What the fuck did he do to me?
Is that in your background?
I think that's my brother in the background. I don't think you guys would hear him.
You can't even see me in the podcast.
Oh, every stream.
Every stream? Oh man, I'm so sorry. So he's also streaming on his end as well. Oh, there's Eddie Edwards attacking Sami Callihan, holding the bat down before Sami could get it.
You can get ghosts and pick up one of their guns. I think that's a class. Sort of. Yeah, that ass.
Oh boy,
I love when they
this
do that.
this is gonna be
There's an MP5 right next to you. To the left.
this is gonna be interesting.
That juggernaut comes for that ass.
So we're getting the revisiting of Eddie Edwards versus Sami Callihan. I know I kind of repeated that, but I stopped myself multiple times. Arguably one of Impact's better feuds, honestly, because that kind of got a lot of attention to them, as well as elevated Eddie Edwards into the main event scene, in my opinion. And as we see still to come, we do have Kenny Omega and Don Callis' appearance on Impact Wrestling. So that hasn't happened just yet, but it is something to keep an eye on.
I'm such a fool. I thought that was how the show was going to start.
Yeah,
I've
you
been
had
watching
to think that wasn't going to happen.
I've been watching this for 16 years, and I still fell for it.
Womp, womp. But it does get you thinking, though. What is going to happen when they're on the air? We've already seen Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone actually show up on Impact's airtime promoting AEW Dynamite tomorrow. By the way, if those of you who haven't watched Monday's show, first of all, why haven't you watched Monday's show? Second of all, if you have noticed, we did have a kip-up competition in which Mike Rosa has successfully done 2 kip-ups in a row. Now, as a result of those kip-ups, I myself will have to be doing the Toe of Satan challenge tomorrow. So those of you who are here, tune in for tomorrow's show. We will be covering MLW Fusion as well as NXT and AEW Dynamite. It'll be a triple header episode. Wednesday.
I'm stoked.
I'm nervous. But it'll be a great show. Tune in. You get to see me suffer. And who doesn't love that, right?
Me, I don't like seeing my friends suffer.
But you do, though.
But we'll watch it anyway.
Oh, boy. Everyone, make sure to tell all your friends and let them know that tomorrow you are going to see a lot of hijinks and hilarity. So everyone here, make sure to share, like, tweet, subscribe, Instagram, everything. Let them all know. And just to let you guys know, as a reminder, we are broadcasting on all 3 platforms of Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and click that notification bell on YouTube so you get all the notifications for all 3 of our platforms. And we are going to be working on the idea of doing exclusive streams for different platforms as well. So if you don't have us on YouTube, you might miss out on something. If you don't have us on Twitch, you might miss out on something. So be sure to keep on the subscription for all 3 because you never know where we pop up next.
And as I mentioned on Facebook earlier, it's free.
It's
It's
free.
not costing you anything. If you don't like it, just follow us. But click it to where you don't have to see us.
If you don't like us, just hide us. But
Yes,
keep following us.
But keep following.
Keep following us. We need that support. That support allows us to do everything we're doing and then some, so we're able to cover more. We're able to cover more promotions as well. So every single bit of support does help us towards that goal.
There's two.
Oh, hey, look, a match we can see in AEW.
LAX with Santana and Ortiz versus the Lucha Brothers. Penta El Zero Miedo versus Rey Fenix.
I am the table.
I am the table.
I am so glad that Will said that the other night on that show.
I didn't think he and I ended up both saying that, and I just cracked up as soon as that happened. I am the table.
I was waiting for it the whole match. I was like, I am the table. I even said it in my head. I was like, nah, I don't know if they'll get it.
Shout outs to Botchamania for that one.
The Botchamania is the shit.
Back right. Going back right.
Oh, whoa.
Mid-right,
Spanish Fly from Phoenix, and oh, man.
Oh,
I forgot all about that part.
I didn't know that was this match.
That was this match where he dropped on his head.
Oh, you hate to see it.
You hate to see it.
Considering how Phoenix's reputation with injuries.
Yeah. Oh, man.
He backflipped and just stopped halfway.
Yeah, he wasn't able to catapult on the momentum. We got another advert coming in for Final Resolution. Those of you who are watching live on Access TV, I'm curious. What are you guys seeing on the commercial side? Because we're watching on the Twitch side, and we're getting adverts for the Impact stuff as well as greatest moments from Impact Plus. I'm curious. Oh no, Eddie has lost his marbles. He's so hyped up right now. Now, so you're looking forward to eating the toe Satan tomorrow? I am not. I am not. But it should be interesting nonetheless. I'll give it a shot. I'll see what I can do. I will try my best.
Chris Bay, baby.
Here we go. Main event time, I believe.
I was about to say main event time. We got 30 minutes to go.
I believe this is
no, never mind. We have the Kenny section.
This is match number 5, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes.
Chris Bay and Moose versus Rich Swann and the Mac.
We'll grab this one.
Return of the Mac.
William saying, I wish I was watching on Twitch. I'm getting normal TV commercials. Hyson, what are you seeing on your end? Like, what commercials? Because I don't think I have Access TV. Or if I do, I'm not sure what channel it is. I'm on BIOS. That's what it was. I just brain farted so hard on BIOS.
You want me to do that? Let me know if you want me to do that.
I love his entrance. It's so majestic.
He does this for every show?
For the most part, yeah. I mean, he gets a little bit changed up here and there, but this is the gist of it. The TNA Heavyweight Champion. Officially not a sanctioned title, but he carries it. It's interesting to see, like Josh Matthews just mentioned, Moose has beaten legitimate past TNA heavyweight champions, but he's defending a title that isn't sanctioned, i.e. what the FTW title in AEW should be, to be honest. But he's been running the ball with the storyline, I will say.
So are Chris Bay and Moose on any sort of same page, or are they just tagging?
They're just tagging for now. Right now, Rich Swann. Right now, the match to look forward to in Final Resolution is Chris Bay versus Rich Swann. Chris Bay, the ultimate finesser, as we all know, looking to realize the boyhood dream, if you will, and become the champion. But the ultimate money match, and which is kind of what things are leading up to, albeit with a very slow burn, which I do appreciate, is Moose gaining the Impact Heavyweight Championship. And that's why he's touting the TNA title right now, which is pretty awesome, I will say. Hyson saying he's just getting Access TV promotions and Allstate and just all these infomercials. Aaron, with a question. Who would y'all want to be the first wrestler to co-host a show with you?
John Cena.
He's co-hosting right now. We just can't see him. I'm sorry. That was terrible.
What happened? You didn't tell me
That was so bad. I regret everything. Anyways, to answer your question seriously, I don't know. I mean, Joe Gertner did that promo with us. I would love to co-host with him someday. Just to see how that would go. Liv Morgan, maybe? I would love to have Gianna Daddio here.
Boy.
That would be interesting. I would love to co-host with Liv Morgan.
I'll tell you what, my answer is anyone.
Anyone would be the correct answer, to be honest. I am just saying who I would want to co-host with.
Okay, who do I want? Well, it can't be my favorite female wrestlers because I wouldn't be able to talk.
Not with that attitude.
Then the cops came and said, no.
With that attitude, yes.
Ain't that some shit?
While you're figuring that out, we've got to start off with Chris Bay and Rich Swann starting off the match. Interestingly enough, we've got the main events of Final Resolution already giving us a teaser of what's going on for that match.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have an answer, Chris?
I was gonna say Keith Lee, but he's too smart. I wouldn't be able to understand him. He's so articulate.
Are you saying you're not?
No. He uses big boy words.
Are you saying you don't use big boy words?
I said articulate, didn't I?
Fair.
Big brain plays.
So we're on a commercial right now with currently Rich Swann on the offensive end, taking down Chris Bay after Hurricane Rana. As we pop over on our Twitch side, we've got the Impact Plus's greatest knockout moments, showing Gail Kim versus Awesome Kong. Final Resolution 2008. So
Gail Kim is another one of those wrestlers I never appreciated back in the day because I never really cared. But now, growing up with the wrestling mind I do, so good.
absolutely, her body of work really surpassed what was portrayed to us at the time frame that we started to watch Impact Wrestling, if you will. So I'm going to throw the question that Aaron proposed from his end back to the comment section, actually. Who would you guys want to see co-host with us down the line? What wrestler would you want to see co-host with us on a watch-along for any show, if you will? Out of sheer curiosity, I want to hear what you guys think.
And let's be kind of realistic and not be like me and say John Cena because
No. We do not have the pull to get John Cena.
We don't have the pull and we don't have the payroll.
No, we do not. No, we do not. I don't think we even have the payroll to get guys like
Me.
Alexa Bliss or even Liv Morgan, to say the least. But realistically, if it's possible.
I'm so tired. I'm the worst host. Ugh.
The worst. And Awesome Kong just beating up a referee with a chair.
Aaron said 4,000 IQ Keith Lee. He damn right.
I mean,
Did you watch his 24 yet?
I have not gotten a chance to yet, but I have it on my docket. I have to watch it.
It's good.
I have to watch it.
Very, very inspiring.
Really?
He's just a super inspiring person.
I believe it. Honestly, I believe it. You know what? Now that you mention it, I wouldn't mind having Keith Lee as a co-host. I'd be down for that if he's interested. So yeah, you know what? Add him to the list. So Keith Lee, Liv Morgan, and Joel Gertner. Those are the 3 that I would love to co-host with if I ever had the chance.
Ooh, I thought of a good one.
Ooh.
Keith. No, I'm distracted. Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler, Xavier Woods, any of the people that already stream. That'd be easier.
That would be interesting if they were interested.
Dakota Kai, please come talk to us. You're one of my favorites.
She just ignores us forever.
Dakota Kai, don't, please.
Imagine if she just comments right now, like right below.
You paged? Oh, Awesome Kong just
Awesome Kong just one
slapped the life out of that ref.
Terrifying, to say the least. Terrifying.
Your winner and still Knockouts champion, Gail Kim.
I think this was around when she just won the title, too. Because this was around when the title was just starting to be built.
Where it's like, I'm out of here.
The referee's just running, avoids the powerbomb, and now they're still fighting.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna go run some soda.
I have to rewatch this event.
Yeah. All right, man.
Tyson says that Braden says Kenny Omega.
Yeah,
Huh. I'd be interested in co-hosting with Kenny Omega.
He is a gamer.
He is a gamer, and he has a very brilliant mind for wrestling, so I would love to do that. And he also says that Matt Morgan will be doing a review show because he already does review shows. So he feels like he would mesh. You know what? I mean, if he's down, I would love to be a co-host with them. You know, if he happens to see this, if he wants to join us along, you know, I'd love to be with him. I'm sure Chris would love to be with him as well.
Absolutely. Matt Morgan Blueprint. I had no clue he was in WWE at one point. I thought he was just a TNA guy.
He was. The only thing was that I didn't like was that he was stuck with a stuttering gimmick, which didn't suit him at all. Yeah, it was so dumb. It was so dumb. But it did give him exposure. And then when he came to, you know, TNA as the Blueprint, that's when he really took off.
Absolutely. And I mentioned I watched that the Royal Rumble 2005 last night, and watching some promos and backstage segments and stuff. It's crazy what was.
Oh wow! Moose using Chris Bay in the powerbomb to knock out the Mac. Sorry, Chris.
No, you're fine. But watching promos and backstage segments and stuff back in 2005, it's crazy to see what we found acceptable back then compared to now. Like there's one specific JBL and Teddy Long scene that was very not appropriate.
Probably doesn't bar mentioning. Probably during it.
I didn't even want to bring up who said it, but it's okay.
As we're back on our match, we see that Chris Bay currently is on the offensive against the Mac. Currently, Bay and Moose have the advantage. Rich Swann on the outside, Mac getting worked over right now as we speak. Moose in the ring.
Chris Bay is like 140 pounds soaking wet.
Kind of, but man, is he really good at making it work.
Absolutely.
Aaron saying, respect the ring with Ryback. As much as I love the alliteration, I don't think he wants to give us the time of day, to be honest.
And if that does happen, I'm calling you in sick that day.
I mean, I wouldn't mind working with him, honestly. I would love to co-host with him, but I don't think he would even care about us.
Any exposure.
Well, it's not even so much that. Ryback just seems like a fun guy to chat with. It's just, I don't think he really cares about us. I've seen a lot of his YouTube videos, though. They're very entertaining stuff.
Are they?
Yeah, he has like mukbang videos where like he'll eat like a lot of food.
Really?
Yeah, it's funny stuff, I will say. That's Chris Bay in the ring right now against Moose.
Moose is barking
I mean,
orders at Chris
Mac.
Bay.
Not Moose. I'm sorry?
Moose is barking orders at Chris Bay.
Oh, absolutely. Moose is right now at that point where like he sees himself because he just tagged him instead of tagging his hand. He just slaps his chest. That's funny. Moose sees himself basically as a dominant champion because he's carrying that TNA World Heavyweight Championship, and he's just barking orders because he feels like he's the dominant force between that tag.
Imagine seeing yourself as the dominant champion and you're not even a champion.
Ironically enough, right? Oh, wait. Jawjacking with Rich Swann right now.
I'm so glad Rich Swann has regrown his beard. He just didn't look like Rich Swann without any facial hair.
He really didn't.
2 stunners.
2 stunners by the Mac to take down Moose. Moose isn't out cold right now. He's just stunned. Mac with the hot tag to Rich Swann. Rich Swann.
Good play on words.
I try. Okay, Rich Swann taking down Moose. Oh, attempting to take down with a Hurricane Rana. Moose countering with a power bomb, dropping Swann on his head. Heisen making a good point. Moose has also really come a long way. If you go back to his debut, he was really green. Now he's an excellent in-ring worker and in much better shape. Yeah, if you go back to like his debut, even in Ring of Honor, back then he was really green, and you know nobody really thought much of him at the time. But now, fast forward a couple of years, and you know the man's got everything down pat. He is really on top of his game. Very nice Hurricane Rana from Rich Swann, or rather a Frankensteiner, if you will, dropping Chris Bay onto Moose for a 2 count. Chris, what are you thinking right now, buddy?
There's so much stuff going on.
Yeah, it is hard to kind of keep track of it because it's very fast paced. Swann with a neck breaker, dropping Chris Bay with a kick, tagging in the Mac. Mac going up to the top.
I like that kick. A float over like
the float over kick up. Ooh, Mac missing the 6-star frog splash.
Is his name the Mac or is it Willie Mac?
It's Willie Mac, but like he also goes by the Mac.
Okay.
The Mac, because there's the Mac as well.
Ooh, spinning heel kick. I love it.
And that knockoff forearm and Moose with the spear.
Dude, my TV just like glitched because as soon as Chris Bay got hit, it came back and Mac just got speared. Like I missed like a whole 2-3 second sequence.
Well, that's what you got me for. Chris Bay pinned the Mac. Pinned the Mac off of Moose's spear.
Chris Bay with the pinfall victory, riding some confidence into his championship match this weekend.
Absolutely. That's really interesting because it shows the ultimate finesser basically taking advantage of that opportunity.
That's right.
Now, Erik's saying that we're ahead of him. I think the issue is like I might be ahead. I don't know how far behind are you, Chris?
You and me are even.
Huh. So we're definitely ahead of Aaron right now. I'm very curious as to why that's the case. Oh, here we go. Up next, the AEW champion, Kenny Omega. And Don Dallas.
Let's take bets, chat. Do they even leave the RV?
I feel like they're not going to.
I don't either.
I feel like low-key this is kind of spliced in. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, they could have filmed this literally last Wednesday.
Like, they could have just said this was in Tennessee, and it really isn't. Because Impact is in Canada, if I'm not mistaken.
Currently, yes. Wait, yeah, that don't make any sense.
It's interesting to imagine. I mean, unless they're running shows in Tennessee, that's also possible. As we see on the Twitch feed, we're getting Impact Plus's greatest returns, which is Sting, Final Resolution 2008.
I'm on a commercial.
Wait, is that 2008 or is that 2006? I
8.
think that's 2008.
No, that's the 6.
It looks like a 6, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it's
it's 6. Yeah, that theme song. I can hear that theme song and I know it's 2006. It's funny because this is the rock song that Sting had when he first returned with Christian Cage against Jeff Jarrett and I think Monty Brown, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh, the pounce is my favorite finisher of all time.
Pounce. Man, I miss Monty Brown.
Absolutely, man. That guy. Talk about charisma. You should say Captain Charisma, but Monty Brown was the machismo before Black Jay Lethal Black machismo.
That's true. Speaking of charisma, look at this Sting. 2006 Sting.
Still 67 years old. No.
I mean, the man just oozed charisma back then. And he still does, honestly, but just look at him. I remember when I first saw him coming back in TNA, and like this was the time I saw the end of WCW back in 2001 after he beat Ric Flair. And I'm like, I remember he had long hair, and then I watch him in TNA, and then he has short hair. And I'm like, is this really Sting? Because at the time I wasn't like totally broken off kayfabe. Like I still believed, but not like crazy believed. Like I know obviously like these guys aren't gonna like kill each other, but like I'm like, is this really Sting? Is this somebody else they just found with face paint? And it turns out it really was Sting. He just cut his hair. Of all the things that I could have possibly thought of, the fact that Sting just didn't decide, I'm just going to show up with short hair one day.
So apparently, the Impact headquarters are in Nashville.
Then that'll do it. Anthem is in Canada. Makes sense.
Oh, look, Monty Brown.
Oh, Monty.
I thought you were just listing characters or listing wrestlers. I didn't know he was out there.
No. Okay, this was the actual match. Christian Cage and Sting versus Jeff Jarrett and Monty Brown.
Jeff Jarrett, another wrestler I hated that I now respect with all the world.
I respect it, but like at the time of the booking, and I don't like to talk about the backstage stuff because it's obviously not my liberty to discuss. But I remember hating that Jarrett just kept having the NWA title all the time. Like all the time I would see him win, and I'm just like, please just lose it already. And then he lost it to AJ Styles at Hard Justice, which was cool. Another advert for Final Resolution.
Honestly, yeah, bro.
Man, I'm so mad that I'm not able to cover this.
Yeah, he switched to BC, yep.
I mean, I'm definitely going to be watching the events, but I won't be able to watch it immediately due to covering the Super J Cup as well as Triple Mania as well.
Yeah.
Hyson
just mentioned Monty is another guy that WWE dropped the ball with. Marcus Corvon just became a low-tier mid-carder card fast.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, he was a leader in ECW for a while. Him and the new next. Damn it.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but
No, what's happened?
the little interview with right now Rich Swann is looking to walk out and he's being barred out because he's not able to meet Kenny Omega, even though he's the Impact World Champion. Meanwhile, Josh Matthews walks out saying, oh, I'm here to interview Kenny Omega and Don Callis, and he was let in. The security guard's just not letting him in. So already you're starting the downplaying of Impact World Champion Rich Swann, which I don't like. Josh Matthews right now is on the bus with oh, there we go. Don Callis.
I was about to ask you if we're going to get played and they don't even show up.
Imagine. All right, Kenny Omega and Don Callis with Josh Matthews. They are right now on Impact's feed. They're not in the ring. They're in the RV. Or bus, if you will. Oh, the title still says Jon Moxley.
They're about to change it.
They're changing it on Impact. Kenny's holding his nameplate right now.
For what gun?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about Callis and Omega working together.
It's funny because they're relying off the fact of the real life relationship with Callis and Kenny. That's all it really is. Otherwise, you're lost in the shuffle with this. And to me, I feel like that's the downfall of this whole story. They're relying on your already. There's the title. Oh, we got a reference to top of season 1.
I feel you.
He just threw the Moxley nameplate.
This Kenny is cracking me up.
It is pretty funny.
Yo, Pat.
Oh no. Okay, so here's something that's kind of breaking my immersion. I'm gonna let them speak first before I say anything. He just put the picture in the background.
So they're painting Callis as Omega's like placement dad.
Kind of. It's kind of like
No.
oh.
For what, MP7?
We got a reference to the IWGP Heavyweight title.
Oh, I see it.
So all of this was basically part of Callis's long-term plan, just to be next to Kenny and make sure he ensures Kenny's success.
Yeah, bro, I got the wages of sin. It's a red tracer. Of course. Yeah, the wages of sin is hard. Yeah.
So this is what was necessary, the explanation of the relationship between Don Callis and Kenny Omega.
I don't have a lot of them, so you know.
He did.
The wages.
So we're getting a recap of how Tony Khan quoted that Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho gave birth basically to AEW, which is true. He did say that.
He's back.
A recap basically of what they did on Dynamite was basically changing the landscape of professional wrestling.
He said he was going to take like 10, 15 minutes. Yeah, I'll wait. Wow, this is the most
Indeed.
I've ever had online in my friend list ever.
history. I love it. I love it. So what's going on right now is that all three of them are sat at a futon chair, all in a circle, and the AEW title is presented in the center.
Yeah, bro. I'm already
Ooh, a
done.
reference to Omega using the microphone.
My last English
Oh, boy.
class is next Tuesday when I get back from Guyana. I gotta get my final essay during the class.
Kenny took offense to that.
Like our last shit that we have to do. My English professor is mad anal about her shit, bro. Nah, hell yeah, bro. I made sure I
Interesting.
use the proper grammar. She's one of those teachers that if it's not like, A1, she doesn't accept it. She'll constantly send it back or yeah. Yo, Nick's mom was on another level, bro.
So basically, Kenny Omega is basically saying, he's blaming the breaking of the gentleman's agreement, if you will, where the weapon was used, the microphone, on AEW.
Yeah, honestly.
Saying, everything went out the window once Moxley attacked Callis. And he's taking credit for all the matches the big matches that have happened in, New Japan as well as England and the UK, claiming that was all him. Damn, they're even excited.
Pretty good in English. English is like my favorite subject. No, Miss Henry's class.
Kenny's sporting a black eye.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
I just noticed it.
Bro, yeah, Miss Henry's class.
Heisen saying this promo work by Kenny feels very reminiscent of some Jericho promos. Absolutely. I got that vibe too. Oh, there you have it. Kenny Omega was a comic book collector way back when. Oh, you learned something new.
Black rain right there, bro. Shit, back window.
Omega saying he is a collector, as I am too. Looking at all this shit around my room, I am too.
He just made a reference to the Lex Express.
That's a problem.
Wait, he's teasing something for Dynamite.
2 out of the 6.
He's gonna do the thing. What is the thing?
Good night and goodbye. Bang.
I was thinking that. Ah, there it is. Nice. Bang. And with that, we got the cleaner Kenny Omega back.
I got it.
Did he just say see you back at Stanford?
Oh my god, he's a bullet. I downed his bullet.
He just said he...
Photos, too.
Huh. So that'll do it.
The end.
The end. So we've got a tease for Dynamite tomorrow that something's gonna happen. We don't know what's gonna happen, but we know something's gonna happen. We've got a little bit of a tease for the cleaner Kenny Omega because it hasn't been fully confirmed, but that was pretty much the return of the cleaner Kenny Omega. We had a lot that happened there, didn't we?
That was quite a promo.
That was. I mean, we finally got. I mean, those of you who aren't in the know and are casual viewers of Impact now have a little bit of insight as to the relationship between Don Callis and Kenny Omega, which is more of a reenactment as to what was happening already behind the scenes on the internet and like all the other promotions that already knew that Callis and Omega were, family, if you will. But yeah, all in all, really great show overnight. Heisen agrees, really great show. As you saw, you got Chris Bay and Moose defeating Rich Swann and the Mac. Bay pushing his Ultimate Finesser persona en route to his title match with Rich Swann. We've also got Taya and Rosemary defeating Deonna Purrazzo and Kimber Lee to advance in the Knockouts Tag Team title tournament. So as a result of that, we also got Deonna Purrazzo defending her title against Rosemary for Final Resolution. Eric Young defeated Cody Deaner very dominantly with the pile driver, and we've got Joe Doering, attempting to attack them, but it resulted in Rhino coming out with a lead pipe, which could lead to something down the line. Brian Myers defeating TJP with the running clothesline. I call it a lariat, but I think it's more of a clothesline, to be honest, now that I think about it. But that's neither here nor there. And we had Chris Sabin defeating Josh Alexander via a roll-up. En route to Ethan Page versus Carl Anderson at Final Resolution. So, Mike Rosa, for all the idiots out there, him, what's the announcement tomorrow? The announcement hasn't been made. He teased that there's going to be announcements tomorrow. The only thing he did is the cleaner goodbye and good night bang thing. But that's it. He hasn't said anything. So it's a tune in for Dynamite tomorrow. Which we're going to be covering tomorrow in a triple header along with MLW Fusion as well as WWE NXT. Aaron saying, well, good night, boys. That was a great show.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. I was asking for speculation. I know you were asking for speculation. I was repeating that to the casuals. Obviously, I know you were being sarcastic. Luke's saying, I'm still here. Dude, thank you so much for joining us, man. And thank you to everyone that's been joining us on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch as well. I mean, we are slowly growing based on your support, and we couldn't be any more grateful for that. Thank you so much for joining us in this merry adventure, if you will.
Absolutely. Can't do it without y'all.
Absolutely. But for those of you who are going to be tuning into tomorrow's show, which I hope is all of you, as I mentioned before, as a result of Mr. Rosa over there doing 2 kip-ups on Monday, you're going to see me do the Toe of Satan challenge tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. That is happening on tomorrow's show. But that's neither here nor there. Thank you so much for joining us on tonight's show, guys. Stay tuned for tomorrow and stay tuned for an announcement. Thank you, William Heisen. Have a great one. See you next time. And for the rest of you, thank you so much. Peace.